Thought I had more time before the video started. Not editing that out, though, because I can't. I'm not going to bother restarting either, because kind of a funny intro when you think about it. So, back again. And, yeah, I did my actual review kind of analysis of the actual Sun and Moon trailer we got earlier this week. They also showed another trailer with Coral Crow. The only thing we got a shot of was the trainer coming out of the house, possibly his house, possibly someone else's house. And they did notice a Pokemon in the corner that looks like a new Pokemon. Looks kind of like an Eevee in terms of coloration. When you literally look at it, though, it looks like a new Pokemon. People are just saying it's a dog or maybe a small deer. But I don't have that tech to show that on the screen, so we're just going to go on to this video. And we're talking about the starters. We're analyzing the starters. What's cool about them? What's not cool about them? I mean, what do we think about them? What's the deal with the stars? So, when looking at all these starters, let's obviously start with the first one we get introduced to. Technically, we got introduced to all of them at the same time, but obviously the first one in the Dex, and that's Rollit, the giant grass quill Pokemon. Now, I read its Pokédex entry the first time on that video, but I'll read it again. Rollit can attack without making a sound. It flies through the sky, drawing near to its opponent without being noticed. So right there, I'm going to go play by player. Right there, that indicates that this might be a very stealth-based Pokemon. At least its first form might be focused a bit on speed and physical attack, or special attack, range attack. It can also attack from a distance using its razor-sharp leaves that form as part of its feathers. Its visual abilities are impressive. Again, they have all the standard Pokemon abilities for the starters: Overgrowth, Blaze, and Torrent. But it does actually lend at least a little bit of credence to what techniques this Pokemon might learn. I'll continue a little bit, but we know it learns Leafage, the new attack. It's pretty much just kind of like a range attack for grass Pokemon with no added effect. It's probably going to learn Razor Leaf. It probably knows Foresight, I would actually imagine, kind of like Hoot Hoot does, because Hoot Hoot also has amazing eyesight, and Noctowl. But could we get a new visual-based attack as well, like something that can see through like smoke or something? I mean, we have abilities like that, but who knows? Moving on, the Dark Stone Knight is the obstacle for Rollit. It can twist its section nearly 180 and from front to back, so you can see directly behind it. It often gets, instruction from its trainer, which is adorable in the trailer, by the way. And Leafage attacks the opponent by striking it with leaves. So, Rollit is the grass flying Pokemon. First dual starter. It's the first stage dual starter since Bulbasaur, which is huge, really, when you think about it. Now, the question first off is Flying Grass really going to be its last stage? Because it's not the first Pokemon whose type changes when it evolves. The perfect example of this would be, I actually go at this Pokemon a lot for examples, because it's a decent example when you think about it. Trapinch. Trapinch starts as a ground type, then it's a ground dragon, and then it's and then it stays as a ground dragon. Actually, I believe it's a ground... Is it a ground bug? I don't think it's a ground bug. But there are Pokemon whose types literally change as they evolve. Now, granted, I don't know if you've ever had a Pokemon who started as a dual type and then changed its typing. I think that one's a little pushing it. But it would be interesting to see this little bird who can originally fly turn into something... I still like the idea that like with the theory that the fire types are based off the Chinese zodiac, the theory that the grass type's final evolution is based off a prehistoric animal. So this little owl loses the ability to fly and turns into this giant terror bird. I think that'd be cool. Which does beg the question what kind of extinct Pokemon we'd get, fossil Pokemon, but different video entirely. But if it does change, what typing would it change into? I think based on this, we'd probably get like a grass dark type. I think that would possibly be a very good... I think that'd be a very solid typing to give it. I think it's an adorable Pokemon. It is my preferred Pokemon right now over the three. In fact, Rollit, I understand, gets a lot of love among the three ones, and Puppylo sadly does not. But we'll see what the final evolutions look like. In terms of how I think this guy's going to be played out, we don't have enough information really to figure out its final evolution, though there is something I'll touch upon near the after I get through all of these. A theory I have that I heard brought up once, and I kind of actually makes sense when you look at it. But in terms of just Rollit as it stands, if Rollit were not to evolve or anything, this Pokemon would probably be a fast attack, physical attacker with some decent special defense. I think it's a physical defense. Defense is not very high. I don't think. But anyway, that's Rollit. Then we move on to Lytton. Lytton, logical but passionate. Lytton always remains cool-headed and doesn't show its emotions on the surface. Which is why it's kind of got the grumpy cat face a little bit. Lytton attacks with flaming hairballs. Unique. Its rich oil fur has immense flammability. Lytton grooms itself by licking its fur and then uses the collected fur as fuel for fireballs. Which, if these guys have a signature technique like they did in Gen 6, there was magical, I believe it was magical fire, water shuriken, and grass shield. What's their signature technique? Is it going to be like a flaming hairball technique? Because from a game perspective, that's cool. From a lore perspective, that's cool. Except for one thing. What happens when you run out of hair? It makes this. You're using it as fuel for your fireballs. I assume you learn Ember and things like that. It even says Lytton knows this. He uses Ember, so it knows Ember from the beginning. But does it have like a flaming fireball, hairball, bomb attack or something? Anyway, though, a lot of people are speculating this is going to become a fire dark type. I did hear one interesting theory though about him, where they think that he could become a fire poison type, which I actually designed one at one point. I doodle. I make up stuff, and that was one of them. Except mine was like an armadillo that has like an explosive fire cannon on his back. So that was kind of cool. But because of the oils, a lot of people insinuated the oils would like poison. So maybe he turns into like a sludgy fire tiger. Most people are insinuating though this is going to turn into a tiger, and I stand by that belief. When you actually look at the markings on this thing, it's got stripe patterns on its legs. It's got a stripe pattern on its head. It doesn't have any stripe patterns on its body, save for a little bit that you see when that tough fur on its back comes up. So I think it is going to turn into a tiger, and I think it's going to be a speedy attack and special attacker. This one's going to be the glass cannon of the group, though I'm pretty certain, where it's not going to have the best defense stats, but it's not going to need it because it's going to be the attacker of the group, the heavy attacker. And then we move on to Popplio. Popplio is, be honest, I don't hate on Popplio. A lot of people are hating on Popplio. I actually don't hate on Popplio. I mean, actually, to be honest, he's my second favorite because I think he is cute. You know what it honestly is? It's the nose. The nose is I'm not really that fond of, but that's I think part of the design. So Popplio's swimming speed is known to be about 25 miles per hour. So right there, that says this is probably going to be a very fast Pokemon. It's better at moving in the water than on land. No shit, it's a seal. Still, when it's on land, it takes advantage of the elasticity of its balloons to perform acrobatic stunts and jumps. Now, it knows Bubble from the get-go, but let's stop right there and think about that. If they have signature techniques, whatever Owlet's may be, no idea. And if Lytton's happens to be hairball-based, his signature technique, I guarantee you, has something to do with his water balloons, his water bubbles, his giant ones. Popplio can snort out water balloons, out balloons made of water. Watch it spin water balloons into a playful battle strategy. Both frivolous and hardworking, Popplio can easily get carried away, unleashing enough power in battle to make quite a spectacle, meaning that it actually probably does not have bad physical stats. I think this one's going to be the meatiest in terms of defense, and possibly have a decent actual attack stat and decent special defense. I think where it's going to be weak though is probably going to be like special defense and maybe not the highest special attack, but maybe not the lowest. It's hard to tell at this point because we don't know what their evolutions look like. But Popplio's determined spirit means they can usually be found practicing hard with balloon skills. Water gun is the move it knows. It knows water gun. Sorry, not bubble. So right off the bat, it's a seal. We know it's basically, but it's got the little frill like a clown or jester. Now that led some people to wonder: is it going to turn into like a Mr. Mime kind of thing? It's like a clown seal. Personally, I don't know which direction it goes. Type-wise, I think there are two choices, and I've heard them both, and I kind of agree with them both right now. Now, it's possible that only these two don't change their type, have type changes. They just stay mono-typed. But I have a feeling they're both going to change their type out later on. One of the ideas is water steel. Now, the idea isn't bad, but it only really fits if, say, Rowlet's evolution stays flying and has something that is either weak to steel or strong to steel. Same with Lytton. And I don't buy that one that much because the whole rock, paper, scissors thing followed in Gen. It was given more depth in Gen 6, where all their secondary types made them doubly effective against their. I don't know why they did it that way. Just to go off on a tangent, in Gen 6, where like Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja, their secondary types were all strong against the secondary types of the one they were already strong against. Greninja's Dark type was strong against Delphox's Psychic. Delphox's Psychic strong against Chestnut's Fighting, and so on. So I don't understand why a lot of people sometimes think that, oh, no, now they're going to really make it so their secondary type is strong against the one that they're normally opposed to. So Rowlet will have a secondary typing that's strong against Lytton. Lytton will have a secondary typing that's strong against Puplio, so forth and so on. I don't quite see why that would be the case. But if that is the way they would go, there is a way that you could maybe change it up. And it does actually still follow my theory that maybe Rollet's typing might change from flying to something else. Now, granted, it would be a kind of repeat of what they did in Gen 4 with a secondary grass fighting, but what if Puplio is actually turns into, and this is the one that sounds the most plausible, actually, in terms of a dual typing, a water psychic type? Because I've seen fan art for it, and I love how the fan art started immediately when this trailer dropped. He's when you think about it, he gains the psychic typing to control the balloons with more effectiveness and more combat effectiveness. And then, assuming if Rollit did change his typing to a fighting type, that would mean Lytton changes to a dark type, like a lot of people are thinking, and then you have your perfect rock, paper, scissors combination right there. Scissors combination, sorry. I kind of slurred on that. So, if that is the rock, paper, scissors typing that you might want to try to go with, that would be the most effective way to go with and give people mostly what they're looking for. The grass fighting, again, might be a little repetitive, but who knows. One thing I also wanted to mention on Rowlet real quick is that I like the fact that you can get a flying. He is unique completely, with the exception of Charizard. But Charizard's the final evolution Pokemon with flying type as its secondary type. He's a flying right off the bat, which means if you so decided to, which I might very well when I use him, you don't have to pick up a flying type during the game to fly. All you need is Rollit, and you teach him fly, and he can fly. And flying is not a bad move by any stretch of the means either. It's a pretty solid move. You can avoid attacks and then hit pretty strong too. So overall, flying is a very effective attack and useful HM. So if you so desire, which I think a lot of people who choose him might, you don't need to teach him fly. You don't need to get another flying type, unless there's a lot of cool flying types in this gen, which we got the woodpecker cardinal looking thing we need to find out. So we got that thing to look forward to, whatever that thing turns into. But do you really think it'll be cooler than Rowlet's evolution? Do we? Point being, though, the thing I wanted to touch on is this. You look at Puplio, you look at Rowlet, you look at Lytton. It's like, what do these guys have in common? Because let's take a step back and kind of look at what some of the other ones had in common originally. Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle. Not a lot in common, but they're all based off maybe either actually, you can make the argument they're all based off an amphibian or at least an aquatic animal in some way, shape, or form. Charmander's a lizard, but salamander. Which, the fire salamander, but salamander. Bulbasaur's a toad. Squirtle's an aquatic creature. And second gen, Totodile, it's based off a crocodile. Sugar is technically based off a pear, but also a sauropod dinosaur, and Cyndaquil's a shrew. Not much in common there, admittedly. Same you can say for third gen. Fourth gen, there was not a lot in common. So they haven't really been keeping much in common, except, basing it off of things that might either be in that area, which started with Gen 5, because you had pigs. New York has pigs, obviously. Otters, they exist. They're in that area. And the vine snake, which is what Snayu was. And then in Gen 6, that's when they actually started. That's when they actually were using tropes of some kind. So you had Delphox, which was a mage, based off the mage trope from like D&D, things along those lines. You had the Greninja, who was the ninja thief rogue, and then you had Chestnut, who was the knight, who was the paladin. So you had that theme going. And this, I know, is a slight theme. You look at Rollit. He has a cute little adorable leaf bow tie. Lytton possibly will become a tiger. And Poplio loves to perform kind of like a clown. I'm just saying, a circus theme? Well, think about it just for a second. Poplio is the performer, generally speaking. He's like, you know, he's wacky and he's going to be powerful. Lytton's the tiger. He's got maybe some ability that like makes him go through a fiery hoop or something like that. Rollit, the maitre d', the entertainer, the circus, the tent master. He eventually turns into something with a tie and kind of like, you know, I command these guys to do my thing. You know, and now watch and be amazed. It's a very loose theory. I don't buy it that much myself, but I'll wait to see what the evolutions look like before I buy it. But it's a theory nonetheless, and it's not a completely far-fetched theory. I think it's kind of far-fetched, but not a completely. You can see where the theory might be plausible, is what I'm saying. But I digress. Anyway, I mean that's all I really got on the. One second, mosquito. Anyway, that's really all I got on these new starters because, frankly, there's nothing else I can really find out about these starters. There's nothing else I can really identify about these starters. They're adorable. I love them. I dig all of these starters. I mean, I dig Lytton the least, but the least doesn't mean the worst or I hate it. The only two starters I have never ever used in a Pokemon game are Piplup, because I just don't like Piplup, and then Polian might look cool, I suppose, but I just don't dig him, even if his type is unique. And Emboar. To hell with Emboar. I don't care if he's a beast, he's a tank. I don't care about that. He's so fucking squishy. I've never used him once, because I hate that design. First off, 5th fighting type in a row. Firefighting, really? And then I don't like his design. Why can't you leave one of them? I mean, technically Typhlosion can be on 4 legs, but why can't you leave your starter on 4 legs when it starts out on 4 legs? It's not that hard of a concept. The other two guys got starters that end up on 4 legs. I mean, you know, Samurott, technically Swampert. You know, and then you got Torterra stays on 4 legs. Serperior doesn't even have legs. So it's not that hard a concept. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we'll see. You know, just to recap, do I think any of these guys are going to change their positions in terms of the legs? Rollit stays the same. Rollit stays on 2 legs. I'm pretty certain. 99% certain. Lytton's difficult because they've all gone to 2 legs in the past. Some of them started on 2 legs, like Charmander and Torchic. Some of them didn't. So it is worrisome. If I were to be a betting man, though, it's a cat, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it stays on 4 legs. I also say Poplio stays on 4 flippers. Legs, if you want to get technical. But, yeah. So that's my final thoughts on this. I love these guys. I'll probably do more things, like, when more information comes out. Like, I might look at the region map a little bit and try to discern what I can from that. I'll definitely do a video on the legendaries at some point. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. If you have an idea for who would win as well, put that in the comments below. I will do a video on that who would win suggestion at some point in the future. Probably in the following week. So thanks for watching. I do have the box office to talk about tomorrow, and this next coming week is going to be The Nice Guys, the Russell Crowe Ryan Gosling movie, and Angry Birds. Of the 3 coming out, I'm skipping Sorority Rising Neighbors, just because I didn't see the first one. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.